Picture this. The Pat McAfee Show studio lights are blazing. The energy is electric. And suddenly, boom, one of the most shocking revelations of the season drops. We finally know how the Jaguars will use Travis Hunter. And just like that, chaos erupts. Fans are stunned, insiders are scrambling, and whispers behind the scenes hint at a decision so bold, so outrageous, it could either make or break the entire franchise. Emotions ran high the moment the words left McAfee's mouth. Was this strategy a masterstroke or a ticking time bomb waiting to detonate in the locker room? But here's the kicker. This isn't just about football. Oh no, this is personal. Sources close to Hunter's camp claim that the Jaguars' plan has sparked heated arguments, accusations of betrayal, and even divided loyalties within his inner circle. We're talking friendships on the line, families questioning allegiances, and fans flooding social media with fire emojis, heartbreak memes, and some very, very bold predictions. What started as a simple roster question has spiraled into a full-blown reality TV saga. And trust me, what you're about to hear will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about Travis Hunter. The Jaguars and the game itself. The air was thick with anticipation as the Pat McAfee Show team leaned forward, their eyes darting around the studio, each waiting for the other to react. When Pat dropped the bomb about the Jaguars' plans for Travis Hunter, it wasn't just sports. Talk Anymore It was a drama that felt like it belonged on primetime television. And from the moment the news broke, emotions ran high. Insiders whispered that what the Jaguars were plotting wasn't just unconventional, it was borderline reckless. A strategy so shocking that it could turn the entire NFL upside down. Fans watching live could hardly process it. Within minutes, Twitter exploded with takes hotter than Florida asphalt. "They're gonna ruin Hunter," one fan cried. Another posted a video of himself smashing a Jaguars jersey, declaring he was done with the team forever. And then, in an emotional twist, a longtime Florida State fan posted, "This is betrayal. Absolute betrayal. Travis deserves better." The comment section turned into a battlefield dot, but behind the memes and fire emojis, there was a darker layer bubbling beneath the surface. Those close to Travis revealed that the young star himself wasn't entirely on board. Whispers surfaced that he had walked out of a private meeting with Jaguars coaches, slamming the door behind him after being told the exact role they had mapped out. "You're asking me to choose between who I am and who you want me to be," he reportedly said, his voice shaking with anger. And here's where things got really messy. His inner circle family friends, former teammates, couldn't agree on what Travis should do. His mother, known for being fiercely protective, allegedly told him, "Baby, you follow your heart. Don't let them turn you into something you're not." But his childhood best friend, who had always dreamed of watching Travis dominate in the NFL, argued the opposite. "Bro, this is your shot. Play the game their way, and then change the game from inside." As the argument raged, insiders say, Hunter's agent grew frustrated, pulling him aside and warning, "You go against the Jaguars' vision, you might not just lose your role, you could lose your career before it even starts." The stakes couldn't have been higher, and the tension in those conversations was said to be unbearable. Imagine a room where silence feels louder than shouting, where every choice feels like betrayal. Meanwhile, Pat McAfee himself couldn't resist pouring gasoline on the fire. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, leaning dramatically toward the camera, "this isn't just about football anymore. This is about identity, legacy, and whether Travis Hunter will bow to the Jaguar system or rewrite the script." Audience erupted, fans texting in with their takes, others calling it the greatest sports soap opera of our time. Then came the twist nobody expected. A leaked recording, allegedly from a closed-door Jaguar staff meeting, hit the internet. In the grainy audio, a voice believed to be a member of the coaching staff could be heard saying, "We don't need Travis to be himself. We need him to be what fits our puzzle." The backlash was immediate. Fans accused the team of stripping. away his individuality, treating him like a pawn rather than a star. One outraged caller on a local radio show sobbed, "They're breaking him before he even steps onto the field." In the midst of the chaos, Hunter's father broke his silence. Peering in an emotional interview, his voice cracked as he confessed, "I just want my son to be happy, but I'm scared that they'll use him up and leave him broken." Tears welled in his eyes, and for a moment, sports fans across the nation felt the pain of a father watching his son caught between dreams and demands. But as emotions swirled, the Jaguars doubled down. Their head coach, in a press conference that felt more like a courtroom drama, declared, "We have a plan. It's bold, it's different, but it's what gives us the best chance to win. Travis is a once-in-a-generation athlete, and we're going to maximize that." The room gasped, journalists scribbling furiously, cameras flashing as though capturing history in the making. Yet even as the coach spoke, Hunter's expression told another story. Those who watched closely noticed his jaw tighten, his eyes glistened, as if he were swallowing back words he couldn't say publicly. Behind the scenes, sources claimed he had broken down in private, telling a close friend, "I don't even know who I am anymore." What followed was a tidal wave of backlash. Celebrities weighed in, with one popular rapper tweeting, "Free Travis Hunter," sparking a viral hashtag campaign. Even former NFL legends took sides, some praising the Jaguars' boldness, others condemning it as reckless. The divide was stark, and for the first time, the fan base itself seemed fractured down the middle. But just when it seemed the drama couldn't escalate any further, rumors began swirling of a secret meeting between Travis Hunter and a rival, team's star quarterback. The two were reportedly spotted in a quiet corner of a high-end steakhouse, their heads bowed in an intense conversation. Eyewitnesses swore they heard one of them say, "You don't owe them anything." The speculation ran wild. Was Hunter already plotting an escape? Or was this simply advice from a fellow player trying to guide a young man under immense pressure? The uncertainty left fans reeling. Talk shows debated endlessly. Social media boiled over, and the Jaguars organization scrambled to control the narrative. Yet the more they tried to clarify, the more questions emerged. And as one insider ominously put it, this is just the beginning of a storm that could shake the league to its core. The story was no longer about a football player fitting into a system. It was about identity, power, loyalty, and the emotional toll of being thrust into the spotlight with the weight of millions of expectations. Fans were left divided, Hunter was torn apart inside, and the Jaguars seemed determined to press forward no matter the cost. And then, late one night, an anonymous post appeared on a popular sports forum. The writer, claiming to be someone inside the Jaguars facility, alleged that what the public knew was only half the story. "If you think it's bad now," the post read, "just wait until you find out what they're really planning for Travis Hunter." The word spread like wildfire, igniting speculation that there were even deeper, darker layers to the Jaguars scheme. Hunter's fans clung to hope that the truth would come out, while his critics demanded he toughen up and prove himself. But for Hunter, the night was sleepless, the future uncertain, and the storm just beginning to rage. And this is where the tension truly began to boil over, setting the stage for an even more explosive confrontation that would leave no one unscathed. The storm that had been brewing finally cracked open, and by morning, the entire sports world was ablaze. The anonymous forum post had taken on a life of its own, with fans dissecting every word like it was scripture. Talk of what they're really planning for Travis Hunter spread faster than wildfire, and the theories were outrageous. Some believed the Jaguars wanted to completely reinvent his role, forcing him into a position that didn't even exist before. Others speculated it wasn't just about football, it was about control, about turning Travis into a brand puppet. For the organization, in the middle of all this, Travis himself was caught in a whirlwind of emotions. One source close to him said he couldn't even eat breakfast. He just sat there staring at his phone, reading the comments, wondering how. It all spiraled out of control. The weight of millions of fans, the expectations of his family, and the cold determination of the Jaguars front office pressed down on him like a vice dot. And then came the first real twist. A leaked text message, supposedly from a Jaguars assistant coach, surfaced online. It read, "If Travis resists, we'll bench him. We can't let him dictate the narrative." The message set the internet on fire. Was this confirmation that the Jaguars were willing to sacrifice their biggest prospect just to maintain authority? The betrayal was palpable. One fan tweeted through tears on a live stream, "They'd rather break him than let him shine his own way." As if that wasn't enough, Hunter's family drama exploded onto the scene. His uncle, a man who had always been vocal about his disdain for big organizations, gave an impromptu interview outside his local barbershop. With raw emotion in his voice, he declared, "They're treating my nephew like a pawn, not a person. We won't stand for it." But in a shocking counter, Hunter's cousin, who had strong ties with Jaguars management, fired back in a separate interview, saying, "This is business. Travis knows what he signed up for. Stop babying him." Family was left divided, and fans took sides as if it were a courtroom drama. Comments ranged from, "The uncle is the only one telling the truth," to "The cousin is right. This is the NFL, not college ball." The tension wasn't just on the field anymore. It was at the dinner table, at family gatherings, and even bleeding into Hunter's closest relationships. Then came a moment so intense, it could have been ripped from a reality TV finale. According to insiders, Travis and his agent had a screaming match behind closed doors. The agent, frustrated, reportedly shouted, "You're throwing away millions if you don't play their game." To which Travis, his face red and his voice Kraken, yelled back, "It's not just a game when it's my life." The two men were said to have parted ways that night, their partnership hanging by a thread. The Jaguars, sensing the backlash, tried to salvage their reputation with a carefully staged press release. They painted a picture of unity, claiming Travis was excited to embrace his new role, but fans weren't buying it. Eagle-eyed observers noted the release had no quotes from Travis himself, only statements from the team. One viral tweet read, "If Travis was really excited, why didn't we hear it from him?" And then came this second bombshell. Travis reportedly met with a mental performance coach, someone known for working with athletes in moments of crisis. The meeting was meant to be private, but word leaked quickly. Its revelation had fans torn between admiration for his vulnerability and worry that the Jaguars' pressure was breaking him down. "He shouldn't need therapy before his first real snap," one fan posted. "This is toxic." But just when everyone thought the drama had reached its peak, an even more shocking twist emerged. Sources claim that Travis's girlfriend, who had been his rock through college, broke up with him over the growing chaos. She allegedly told him, "I love you, but I can't handle the circus. Need peace." The heartbreak was devastating. An insider said Travis was inconsolable, confiding to a teammate, "Everything I love is slipping away because of this." Fans rallied behind him, flooding his social media with messages of support and heartbreak. Emo JIS. In the Jaguars camp, frustration grew. One coach, speaking anonymously, was quoted saying, "We signed a star, but now we're babysitting a soap opera." The coldness of that remark only fueled the fire, making fans believe more than ever that the organization didn't care about Hunter as a human being. Pat McAfee, never one to hold back, delivered another explosive segment, slamming his desk. He shouted, "What the hell is going on down there in Jacksonville? If you've got a generational talent, and instead of letting him be himself, you're tearing him apart from the inside out." The studio audience erupted in applause, and social media lit up with clips of McAfee's passionate rant. Still, amid the chaos, whispers of hope began to emerge. Rumors suggested that a secret ally inside the Jaguars organization had been quietly feeding information to Travis, warning him of what the front office truly intended. This mysterious figure, dubbed the Insider by fans online, became the subject of endless speculation. Who was it? A coach? Teammate? Someone in the front office? The mystery only added fuel to the fire, giving fans a new subplot to obsess over. And yet, despite the glimpses of hope, the reality for Travis remained grim. He was torn between loyalty to his team, pressure from his family, and the fear of losing himself in the process. The once bright smile that had captivated college fans now seemed dimmer, his confidence shaken. One reporter noted, "He walks into the room and you can see the weight on his shoulders. This isn't the same Travis we saw in college." As the weeks dragged on, the situation grew even more volatile. Hunter's uncle reportedly threatened to go public with the real story if the Jaguars didn't back off, while his cousin doubled down, calling him a selfish kid who needs to toughen up. The family feud spilled into public view, with fans picking apart their every word like it was a courtroom transcript. But the most chilling moment came when Hunter himself was asked about the situation in a press conference. He paused, his eyes glassy, and then whispered into the microphone, "I don't know how much more I can take." The room fell silent, the words hanging in the air like a storm cloud. Reporters later said you could hear a pin drop, and that's when speculation hit a fever pitch. Could Travis Hunter actually walk away before his career even began? Would he dare defy the Jaguars so openly, risking everything for the sake of his identity? Fans debated endlessly, some calling him a hero for standing his ground, others labeling him weak for not playing the game. The Jaguars, meanwhile, continued to insist that everything was fine. But their carefully crafted statements only deepened the public's distrust. Every word felt rehearsed, every smile seemed forced. And through it all, Travis appeared increasingly isolated, caught in the middle of a storm he never asked for but couldn't escape. As the second chapter of this saga closed, one thing was clear. This was no longer just a sports story. It was a full-blown drama of loyalty, betrayal, identity, and survival. And just when it seemed the story couldn't possibly take another shocking turn, a late-night rumor surfaced that threatened to blow the entire situation wide open. The late-night rumors spread like wildfire, hitting every corner of the internet before the Jaguars even had a chance to respond. The whisper was simple but earth-shattering. Travis Hunter had secretly requested a trade. The words appeared in a blurry screenshot of a supposed text exchange between an anonymous NFL insider and a reporter. He wants out. The message: read he can't handle what they're doing to him. Within minutes, fans were losing their minds. By sunrise, talk shows and podcasts were dissecting the claim, arguing whether it was real or just another fan-fueled conspiracy. Where the drama twisted even deeper, Hunter's camp neither confirmed nor denied the rumor. The silence was deafening. And as everyone knows in the world of sports gossip, silence speaks louder than words. Behind the scenes, emotions ran high. Sources close to Hunter revealed that he had an explosive fight with his father the night before the rumor broke. The heat of the argument, his father allegedly pleaded, "Don't let them take your spirit, son. If leaving is the only way, then leave." But Hunter, choking back tears, snapped back. "Dad, I don't want to run away. I want to fight. But I don't even know who I'm fighting anymore." The words painted a haunting picture of a young man torn between pride, loyalty, and survival. And then came another twist. The Jaguars' front office called an emergency meeting. Insiders described it as chaotic, with voices raised, papers slammed onto tables, and one executive even storming out mid-discussion. One source claimed a high-ranking official shouted, "If he wants to play hardball, we'll make sure he never sees the field." The quote leaked hours later, sending fans into another frenzy. They'd rather bury him than let him go. One fan tweeted, "This is pure villain behavior." But Hunter wasn't just dealing with the Jaguars anymore. His teammates began taking sides. Some stood by him, publicly tweeting supportive messages like, "We got you, bro, no matter what." Others, however, seemed frustrated by the distraction. One unnamed teammate reportedly told a friend, "We came here to win games, not to babysit drama." This division began spilling into the locker room, creating a tense environment where every glance felt like a judgment. To make matters worse, Hunter's personal life continued to unravel. His breakup had left him raw, and now his closest friend from college allegedly accused him of forgetting who had his back when no one else did. The confrontation, which reportedly took place over a heated phone call, ended with the friend shouting, "You've changed, Travis. Fame ruined you?" Hunter, devastated, was said to have thrown his phone against the wall after the call, sinking into silence for hours. In the middle of this turmoil, Pat McAfee dropped another bombshell on his show, waving his hands and nearly shouting into the dot. "Mike," he said, "ladies and gentlemen, I've heard from a very reliable source that the Jaguars' plan for Travis Hunter isn't just unusual, it's insane. They want him to play both sides of the ball, offense and defense, nonstop. They're going to run this kid into the ground." The revelation left fans stunned. Was this the true plan all along? Was the team pushing him to the brink to test his limits or break him entirely? The backlash was immediate. Former players came out in droves, warning of the dangers. One NFL legend said in an interview, "They're treating him like a video game character, not a human being. They'll destroy him physically and mentally." Fans were outraged, accusing the Jaguars of exploitation. Hashtags like #ProtectTravis and #FreeHunter trended across social media. Yet, amid the chaos, a shocking betrayal surfaced. A family friend, long trusted by Hunter, appeared on a national talk show and accused him of being difficult and ungrateful. The friend claimed the Jaguars are giving him the chance of a lifetime, and instead of embracing it, he's sulking like a child. The backlash was brutal. Hunter supporters flooded the internet with messages calling the friend a traitor, while critics used the interview as evidence that Hunter was the problem. Through all of this, Hunter remained eerily quiet. No social media posts, no interviews, no statements. His silence only fueled speculation. Was he plotting his escape? Was he negotiating behind the scenes? Or is he simply too broken to speak? Then, in what felt like the climax of a season finale, an anonymous source leaked that Hunter had been spotted at a private dinner with representatives from a rival NFL team. The meeting, which allegedly took place in a dimly lit back room of an upscale restaurant, is described as intense but hopeful. Eyewitnesses claimed Hunter looked both exhausted and determined, leaning forward as the other party whispered, "We can give you freedom." The leak sent shockwaves through the league. Was this confirmation that he was leaving? But the Jaguars weren't going to let him go quietly. Within hours of the leak, the team released a strongly worded statement denying any trade talks and insisting that Hunter was committed to the Jaguars' future. Fans immediately called it damage control, noting again that Hunter's own voice was absent. "Show me Travis saying it himself, or I don't believe a word," one fan tweeted. As the dust settled, the emotional toll on Hunter was undeniable. Insiders described him as a shell of himself, wandering through practice with vacant eyes, forcing smiles for cameras, and breaking down in private. One chilling account described him whispering to a teammate, "I feel like I'm living in a nightmare." And just when everyone thought the drama had reached its breaking point, a new layer of betrayal surfaced. A hidden recording, allegedly from inside the Jaguars' locker room, was leaked to the press. In the audio, a coach's voice could be heard saying, "If Hunter doesn't bend, we'll break him." The word sent shockwaves across the sports world. This wasn't strategy anymore, it sounded like psychological warfare. The fallout was immediate. Fans demanded investigations. Former players called for the NFL to intervene. And Hunter's supporters began pushing harder for him to leave. But the Jaguars dug their heels in, determined to control the narrative and keep their rising star. Under their thumb, with every passing day, the tension mounted, the betrayals deepened. And Hunter's future grew darker. Yet, in the shadows, whispers of a dramatic showdown began to emerge. Some claimed Hunter was planning a public statement that would flip the script entirely, exposing the Jaguars' true intentions. Others believed he was ready to shock the world with an unprecedented move that would change football forever. And as the rumor mill churned, fans were left on edge, refreshing their feeds, waiting for the next twist in a saga that had already eclipsed sports and become the most gripping drama of the year. But what came next would be the most explosive revelation yet. One that would pit Hunter, his family, the Jaguars, and the entire NFL against each other in a battle for control, identity, and survival. The tension finally snapped when Travis Hunter walked into a press conference wearing a plain black hoodie, his face pale but his eyes burning with resolve. Reporters described the scene as eerily quiet, the kind of silence that feels like the world holding its breath. Everyone expected him to deliver a carefully scripted line, maybe even something the Jaguars had fed him. Instead, he leaned into the microphone and said in a low but steady voice, "I can't stay silent anymore." Gasps filled the room. Cameras clicked wildly. And then Hunter dropped bombshell after bombshell. He revealed that the Jaguars had pressured him into roles he never agreed to, roles designed to wear him down both mentally and physically. He described late-night meetings where coaches told him he had no say in his future, and moments where he felt like a pawn in a game that wasn't his. "They want me to be everything, all at once, until there's nothing left of me," he said, his voice cracking. "But I refuse to lose myself just to fit into their plan." The room erupted into chaos. Reporters shouted questions, fans outside. The building screamed his name, and social media exploded with support. Hashtags like #StandWithHunter and #LetTravis trended instantly. But behind the scenes, the Jaguars were furious. Insiders say team executives were pacing like caged animals, one even slamming his fist on the table and screaming, "He's destroying us in public." What made the drama even juicier was the reaction of Hunter's family. His mother broke down in tears during a live TV interview, saying, "That's my boy. I told him to follow his heart, and now he's finally speaking his truth." Meanwhile, his cousin, the one aligned with Jaguars management, called him selfish and claimed he was throwing away his career. The family feud boiled over on national television, with relatives practically yelling at each other on rival talk shows. And then came the ultimate twist of betrayal. Hunter's agent, the man who had once shouted at him about millions of dollars, went on a podcast and sided with the Jaguars. "Travis doesn't understand how the NFL works," the agent said coldly. "Sometimes you sacrifice who you are for the team." Fans were livid, flooding the podcast's comments section with snake emojis and calling the agent a backstabber. But Hunter wasn't done. He pulled out what fans later called the smoking gun. In front of the cameras, he played a secret recording of a Jaguars coach saying, "If he doesn't break willingly, we'll break him." The audio was chilling, the kind of line that felt straight out of a villain monologue. The press room exploded into shouts, and the Jaguars' reputation plummeted instantly. Pat McAfee reacted in real time on his show, slamming his desk so hard his coffee spilled everywhere. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is no longer football," he bellowed. "This is war. This is Travis Hunter versus an entire organization, and right now he's winning the battle of truth." Fans clipped the rant, sharing it millions of times within hours. But while fans cheered, the Jaguars began plotting their counterattack. Insiders leaked that they were preparing a massive legal response, claiming Hunter had violated confidentiality agreements by releasing the recording. Whispers of lawsuits filled the air, and some speculated the Jaguars might try to void his contract entirely. One lawyer on a sports panel grimly warned, "They're going to bury him in paperwork until he breaks for real." The weight of it all nearly crushed him. One late-night report described Hunter sitting alone on a balcony, staring into the city lights, whispering to himself, "Maybe I should just walk away." A friend who was with him that night claimed he broke down in tears, saying, "I just wanted to play the game I love. How did it turn into this?" The emotional toll was raw, heartbreaking, and yet fans rallied harder than ever, flooding his socials with love and support. And then came a plot twist nobody saw coming. The mysterious insider the one fans had been speculating about for weeks finally revealed themselves. This was a member of the Jaguars' own training staff. In a shocking TV interview, they confirmed everything Hunter had said and more. They were pushing him beyond safe limits. They didn't care about his body, his mind, or his future. All they cared about was control. The revelation sent shockwaves through the league, and suddenly, Hunter wasn't just a player caught in drama, he was a whistleblower exposing corruption. The NFL was forced to step in. League officials announced they were launching an investigation into the Jaguars' treatment of players, something that hadn't happened in years. Hunter's story had become bigger than him. It was now about every young athlete being pushed to the brink by powerful organizations. But as the investigation loomed, the Jaguars doubled down on their defiance. Their owner appeared on camera, his face stern, declaring, "We stand by our plan, and no one player will dictate how we run this team." The statement only fueled the fire, with fans calling it cold, heartless, and proof that they see players as property, not people. Yet through all the betrayal, heartbreak, and chaos, Hunter found strength. Standing before fans. After a practice session, he raised his fist and shouted, "I'm not going anywhere, and I won't stop fighting for myself." The crowd erupted, chanting his name, their voices echoing through the night like a battle cry. The saga had reached its climax. A young star betrayed by his team, his family divided, his agent turned against him, but still standing tall, defying the machine that tried to break him. The future was uncertain. Would he be traded, cut, or somehow rise from the ashes of this storm? No one knew. But one thing was undeniable. Travis Hunter had already changed the game. And the world was watching every move as the cameras flashed. And the dust settled. Fans were left with a story more dramatic than any scripted show. A story of power, betrayal, identity, and resilience. And though the Jaguars still had their claws out, Travis Hunter had shown that even the most powerful machine could tremble when one man chose to stand his ground. And so here we are, standing at the edge of one of the wildest sagas the NFL has. Ever seen what started as whispers about how the Jaguars would use Travis Hunter spiraled into a full-blown drama of betrayal, heartbreak, and defiance? We've watched a young star fight against the weight of an organization determined to shape him into something he's not. We've seen his family torn apart, his friendships tested, his agent turn against him, and his name splashed across headlines like a reality TV plotline. But through it all, one thing remains. Crystal clear: Travis Hunter isn't just a player. He's a symbol of every athlete who's ever been told to shut up and play, every person who's had to fight to keep their identity intact in the face of overwhelming pressure. His battle with the Jaguars has become more than a sports story. It's become a mirror reflecting power, control, and the cost of chasing greatness. Now the question is, what happens next? Will the Jaguars cave under the pressure of fan outrage, or will they double down and try to break him completely? Will Travis be traded, walk away, or rise to become the hero of his own narrative? The answers are still hanging in the balance, and the suspense is unbearable. And that's where you come in. We want to know what you think. Should Travis Hunter stand his ground with the Jaguars, or should he walk away before it's too late? Is this a story of triumph waiting to happen, or tragedy in the making? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because we're reading every single one of them. And if you've been glued to this roller coaster just like we have, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single twist in this drama. Trust me, you're not gonna want to miss what comes next.